Your mindset coach this evening. So, today we're going to be talking about a workshop, and it's going to be a workshop on leadership. And if you're familiar with leadership, you're going to have a supervisor, a boss, a CEO, right? People who lead people. And currently, if we look at politics, we have Joseph Biden, president, he's supposed to be a leader. We have, of course, all the secretaries of states, governors, etc. They're all leaders. But that doesn't mean we have to follow them, because a leader should be someone you aspire to follow, someone you can have a like mindset with. And this was something very interesting to me. I was very interested in leadership early on, probably when I was 15, 16 years old. And I'm not sure if it was because leadership was in my blood, being a leader was in my blood, or or was it more I understood the responsibility of a leader and I wanted to be that type of person. I wanted to be responsible. And though people are always not going to be the best and most efficient leaders, we need to be able to help them, guide them, and then make sure we are all set at the end of the day, because we are all leaders in our own right, but not everyone is built the same. Some people are built to follow more so than they are to lead. And it could be for any situation: work, relationships, even in your friend group. You have someone who leads. Hey, let's go out this weekend. Sure thing. Someone will send a text message or a Facebook invite and say, hey, let's do this. Let's go on a trip. Sure thing. You have leaders in your circle around you at all times. Are you a follower? Are you a leader? And it's okay to be a follower. I want people to realize that if you are a follower and you listen to people, so for example, let's say Dr. Fauci says something. He says, everyone, you need to do this. And everyone's like, oh, all right, Dr. Fauci said it. The people who question Dr. Fauci are going to be considered leaders in their own right? Because they don't simply say, okay, I'm going to accept what someone is saying. I'm going to go find my own truth. And it's important to understand, are you going to follow blindly? Are you going to follow obediently? There's different aspects of following, as there are going to be different levels of leadership, different aspects of leadership. And we're going to be getting into those types of leaderships today in our workshop. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that videos like. And without further ado, let's get into the workshop today. So becoming the leader of your life. Now, what does that mean? If we just take a look at the leader of your life, you are the person in charge of where your life goes. You're not a follower. You're not a person who's going to simply accept what they get. They say, I want more out of life. And they're going to lead themselves to where they want to be. So, of course, I said we are all leaders in our own right, but there's going to be different levels. I recall in 2017, I was working for a finance company, and I was actually I was interested in the CEO of the company of the company, not in the sense of he was this amazing person, but in the sense of how he was able to energize people, right? So if we look at like Tony Robbins, for example, he's able to go on stage and energize a whole entire crowd. How does he do it? How does he do it? And for me, that was what I was looking for in my own life, in my own advancements, because I knew I wanted to have a business. I knew I wanted to start something for myself. but I didn't know how to be a leader. And it turns out that that person that I thought was a great leader was actually a terrible leader, was a terrible boss. And then I started to think, what makes a good leader? So I went to the library, of course, because if I need some knowledge, if I need some wisdom, I head over to the library. And so I was at the library for probably a month to 3 months of getting books on leadership and trying to figure out what made an effective leader. And I was curious, what would happen when I had my first employee? And it has happened this year. What type of boss would I be? Would I be some type of tyrannical boss that says, you're going to do what I want, when I want, and how I want? And if you don't do it like that, then you can get the heck out. I thought I was going to be like that, maybe. But I'm actually more caring. And not in the sense of caring of being walked over, but understanding situations. And I gained that skill from being a teacher. Every day when you walk into the classroom, you do not know what you're going to get. You need to be able to be flexible and adapt to any situation. I had to be effective in what I did and how I operated. So early on in my career, I was already a level 4. I was an effective leader. I was able to teach, lead, and people followed. And I didn't have any problems with classroom management and or with people not able to retain information that I taught. And that's a skill that not many people have. So understanding what level you are on your leadership is going to help you advance, because then you can fix or work on the areas that you're weak. Because if I was an effective leader, I would want to study, I would want to learn how to be an effective leader. In the countless books I've read on leadership, I have learned how to be a leader. I have applied that type of leadership into various roles to see how I operate, see how I feel. And though I am a very stern type of person, right? If you ever work with me, I am say, hey, if we're in it, we're in it. Let's get to work, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're not being lazy. We're getting to work. It's similar to a David Goggins approach, but a little bit more subtle, right? I don't use as much profanity. So, what does it take to be an effective leader, right? We need to understand the different types of leadership roles first. And the first role we are going to be looking at is a laissez faire, right? And the laissez faire is a French economic meaning allowed to do, right? So, it's a French word, laissez faire leadership, right? The second we're going to be talking about is transactional type leadership. And the last one is going to be transformational leadership. Now, with each tier, with each leadership step, the effort of the person being the leader goes up, and the engagement necessary of the leader goes up. It's important to understand what you are willing to do. Because if you don't want to engage with other people, then maybe a transformational leadership type role is not going to be for you. But if you're more inclined to just being laid back and seeing what people do, maybe a laissez-faire leadership is going to be right down your avenue. But each of these roles, you can still be an effective leader and produce results. So a laissez-faire type leadership is going to be someone who puts trust and faith into their employees. And I couldn't imagine any leader not putting trust and faith into their employees, right? Similar to how I started off my teaching career, I wanted to be a pragmatic type of teacher, right? I wanted the students to learn naturally, not forceful, right? So if they wanted to get up and figure out something, they could do that. If they wanted to move a certain way, let's learn that, right? I wanted that type of teaching, right? I wanted to be that type of teacher. And this type of leader is actually that, right? They give you room to be creative, right? It's a hands off approach, but at the same time, they're there to hold you accountable and then to also guide you and take responsibility when needed. And it's important to understand a laissez faire leadership is going to have a lower amount of effort and a lower amount of engagement because everyone is going to be a leader in their own rights. Now, this is going to be effective leadership for companies who have people who are going to be self starters. If you're a self starter and you're a laissez faire, and you're going to a company that has a laissez-faire type environment, guess what's going to happen? A lot of people are going to be able to be efficient because they're going to be creative and they're going to be able to try new things without having to fill a certain criteria or checkbox from a different type of leadership role. And Google does this actually. Google allows free time for their employees to try different things, to have free time to say, hey, okay, we're going to give you some free time. Try to figure out something new we can implement into the program, something new we can put onto the website, etc. And the Google employees love that, right? They get to be free. They get to be artists. They get to be creative. And they, of course, have things they have to do every single week, but they still have free time to be creative. And that's important for someone who has a creative mind and they want to continue to retain their creativity. Then we head over to a transactional type leadership. Now, this is going to be your mid tier type of effort and mid tier type of engagement. So you're going to uphold values and keep the structure of the company, but this one requires rules and regulations, right? So you have to follow the rules. And if you're a person like me, you don't like following the rules. And it's not so much the law, right? Because of course we have to follow the law. But there's a difference between following the rules and then being pragmatic and being creative. Because here you're going to be in an environment that is restrictive, right? So you're going to have to sit down, do your work, make sure it's done on time. If it's not done on time, then the boss or the supervisor is going to rain down hell on you, right? Saying, why is this not done? This is your first warning. If it happens again, we're going to have to let you go, right? Because they're all about profit, they're all about efficiency. So, transactional leader is going to be demanding something from you, and you need to be able to fill that demand. Many companies do this, right? So any product company typically is going to be doing this. Your Fortune 500 companies, most of them are going to be pushing out things, and you have to be able to fulfill that type of requirement. And this is not a good fit for everyone because not everyone wants to be a follower. People want to be pragmatic. People want to be creative. People want to be free. Number one reason the job market is hurting, we can say COVID, but people don't like to be bossed around. People want to be free. People loved not going to work during the pandemic. People love being home and having a laissez faire type of leadership where people were given tasks and then they got the task done by a certain date and then everything was good. But when you have someone on top of you making sure everything is done, it becomes more heavy. And people don't like that. So, all the jobs that have transactional type leaderships, if you are struggling to retain or to hire employees, I urge you to get some type of leadership control or some leadership coaching to help your leaders, to help your supervisors, your managers get on board with how they should be operating and treating any type of coworker at the facility. because people want to work, but if they're not going to be in an environment where they love and enjoy, they're not going to stay there very long. So our last leader is going to be our transformational leader, right? And our transformational leader are going to be your most effort needed from a leader and your most engagement needed from a leader. And these are going to be people who motivate and empower you. They're going to inspire positive change. They're typically energetic, enthusiastic, passionate about what they do. And they want everyone to succeed, because when they see you succeed, then they know they have succeeded, right? It's a very positive type of leadership, but it's high energy. And this is the type of leadership, this is the type of teacher I was actually. I was a transformational type leader, transformational type teacher. And I still am a transformational type leader, because what I do as a mindset coach is I help people get to the next level. I help people learn how to succeed. I help people find the gaps in their life and fill them in. And it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work on my end, a lot of thinking, forward thinking, a lot of planning. And I love it. I love it. And I'm at the top of the totem pole. If we look at it, I don't have anyone telling me what I can and can't do. And for me, that was something I always wanted in a business. Or just in my work, I wanted to be free. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted at any given time. And a transformational type leader, that was right down my avenue. And I intrinsically love motivating and empowering people. If you go to my website, you'll see the mission is to help people be more than they are, to motivate you, to help you succeed. Everyone. There's no person left behind. If you want to get better, head over to revenconcepts.com. You're in good hands. I know that. And you learn that. Transformational type leaders are going to be people like Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. Those are going to be your motivational type of voices. People who inspire you to be more at any given time. And you can have a transformational type leader in your workplace right now. So even if you worked at IBM, you can have a transformational type leader, even though they have to uphold the transactional type leadership role. Because the type of leader you are doesn't mean you have to succumb to a lesser type of leadership in the roles. It just depends on how much effort and engagement you're willing to put. So just a quick recap, right? So a laissez-faire type leader is going to be someone who doesn't want to interfere with your work, and they operate on a pragmatic sense where you can go in and do your work, and as long as your work is done, then everything is good, right? So you're a transactional type leader, though. That's going to be your more militant type of person, right? Everything needs to be organized, and there's going to be a system for rewards and penalties. If you're not able to do the job, you are going to be penalized. But if you do the job well, you're going to get a reward. And the primary reward for transactional type leadership environments or careers or professions are going to be promotions. So you might hear every 6 months, we're going to promote someone. And it's a way to kind of keep the carrot on the stick in front of you. Oh, wait, this promotion is mine. I'm going to make sure I do the best work I can, et cetera, et cetera. And you have your weekly or monthly meetings with your supervisor, and your supervisor looks at the work you're doing. And if you're in the green, the supervisor says, keep up the good work. You're on track for a promotion. But he says it to everyone, or she says it to everyone. And now you have a carrot on the stick. And then when it's time for promotion, you find out you have not got the promotion. And you're hurt, and your supervisor comes in and says, hey, you're doing great work. I'm going to see what I can do and see if you can get that next promotion. Now you got that hope back. Now you got that dream back. And guess what happens? Carrot on the stick again, right? So these are going to be your leaders who you have to watch out for, because they could lead you astray just if you're a follower type person, right? So I encourage people who are transactional leaders to have a good heart, because if you don't have a good heart in this role, you can lead people astray into a complacent and mundane life. And then we have our transformational leaders, right? And these are going to be people that engage with everyone to reach higher levels in their life, right? To reach their most desired place in life, to become more motivated, to become more positive and happy overall. But again, this type of leader requires massive amounts of effort and action, right? So the engagement of what you need to do as a transformational leader is going to be a lot more than if you had to do a laissez faire leader or a transactional type leadership. Think of what I have to do. I have to do my blog. I have to do my podcast. I have to do my motivation motion series on YouTube. That's a lot of work, right? And then on top of it, I have clients that I meet with on a regular basis, interviews, etc. There's plenty for me to do. And the goal is to continue to motivate. The goal is to keep on helping people. And as long as I can do that every single day, then I'm making progress toward what I want, what I'm looking for in life. And that's to lift people up. And I'm blessed to be able to do that every single day. So we get to the point now. Well, what type of leadership is best? And of course, I can say transformational leader is the best because they're going to be the most positive. They're going to be the type of leader who gives you the most effort, and they're the most engaged with you. But maybe your personality doesn't like that. Think of if someone is super optimistic. Oh yeah, this is going to happen. Yeah, I lost my arm, but everything's going to be okay. And then everything is not okay, and then you're looking at the person like they have lost their mind, right? That type of leadership doesn't vibe well with you. Some people need to be told what to do. And as bad as it sounds, they need that. Because if you don't tell someone what to do and they don't know what to do, they are lost. I've had clients, and for me, I'm a transformational type of leader, and I guide people to where they need to be. They are confused about certain situations, and they say, Michael, you know, I just want you to tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it. And for me, that's taking away someone's life, someone's freedom, right? I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do it, and then you're going to be happy, right? You should have that choice. Because even if I tell you amazing information and I say, this is going to get you to where you need to be, it is your choice to want to get there, because I'm not going to be there every step of the way for the rest of your life. Now, of course, you can always get coaching until I'm no more, but at the same time, you have to be able to walk on your own feet. And what I do is I teach people how to operate efficiently on their own accord. So it's not so much where I'm going to hold your hand forever. I'm expecting you to fly. That's why my logo is a picture of a bird. It's because I want you to be able to fly and not be caged for the rest of your life. If you have shackles on your feet, I'm there to help unchain you, to unlock those shackles so you can fly once again. We forget that we are able to do amazing things in our life. We just have to remember. Some people just need a reminder, and I help people with that reminder. But if you are watching the video, you can see that we have a table full of people, full of leaders, right? We have a room full of leaders, but they're a room full of leaders that know they need to be in that room. A leader is not the type of person who says, I don't need anyone because I'm a leader. A leader knows where they're weak, they know where they're strong. And then they supplement it. So if, for example, I am not the best at graphic designs. So when I need something done for my graphics, I will have my secretary, I would have a friend, I would hire someone from the internet to do some of my graphic work. And it's not because I can't do it, it's just because I understand that's not my forte. And yes, I can do it, but when I'm doing something like that I don't enjoy necessarily, then I'm setting myself up for failure. I should be giving smaller tasks and tasks that I do not enjoy to other people who enjoy the task. Because there are some people, and I know them personally, who love to video edit, who love to create graphics, who love to draw. That's just not me. So to help people practice their discipline, practice their art, I would be doing a disservice to people if I did everything myself. But if I can do things to a high level, high standard, and it doesn't get in the way of what I need to do every single day, I'm going to be working on that. So again, a room full of leaders, but they understand that they are strong in areas, they are weak in areas, but collectively they are strong. So if leaders get together, they can operate together. But when followers get together, they look for someone to lead. There is a difference. And a leader won't follow a follower. A leader will become the leader naturally. So pay attention to your friends, to your coworkers, to your administration, etc. What type of leader are they? Now, if you're interested in working with me, whether it be on leadership, life coaching, mindset coaching, head over to my website, revenantconcepts.com. If you have any questions for the podcast, email me at coachinginsession@gmail.com. And here are, of course, my other social links that you can get a hold of me, right? So the best place is to head over to revenantconcepts.com. Then we can get busy. So, all in all, the type of leader you want to be is going to be dependent on you. People are going to hold this workshop, this episode with the podcast, as something that, oh my God, if I'm not this type of leader, I'm not giving enough effort, I'm not doing enough, I'm not that great. Or you might think, oh, I'm just a follower, I can't even be a leader, etc., etc. Again, we are all leaders in our own right. It's just how far do you want to go? How far up the line do you want to go? Because you can be a laissez faire type leader or have a laissez faire type personality and understand that people are going to be people, right? And if you get upset that someone is not doing their job, you're most likely going to be a transactional type leader, right? Because you're worried about, oh, they're not doing their job, blah, 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 blah. You're going to be a transactional type leader. But if you are a transformational type leader, you're going to be asking the question, well, why are you not doing your job? How can I help you? How can I help you succeed? There's a big difference in each type of leader. And for me, I will leave a company in a snap if I'm working with a company, and if I'm not treated to the standard that I have, because I have expectations for everyone. If I'm not treated to a certain standard, and it's not a diva or prima donna type of way of thinking, it's as a person. If you can't respect me as a person, we have a problem. And I have left companies, I have left jobs because people didn't respect me to the level I wanted to be respected. My expectations do not deviate. Any relationship I have, my expectations will not deviate. And that's important to understand. Because if I'm going to bend to the will of someone's negative behavior, I'm letting them walk all over me. And that doesn't happen, especially with strong mindset, with a leadership type of mentality. You can walk over someone who's lesser, and if they don't fight back, if they don't bite back, that's fine. And I remember I was telling a friend, they we were out and they thought I was mean to someone. And I wasn't. I was just telling them the expectation. This is the expectation. If you do this, this happens. And then the next day he was like, "You're mean to that guy." I go, No. I have a fine line, my expectation. And if you cross that line, there's a problem. Whether it be my workers, whether it be my friends, my family, there's a fine line. You cross it, you get bit. So that's just a mindset thing. What will you allow in your life? One of the first questions I ask people, what do you want in your life? And the second question is, what do you not want in your life? And for me, I'm not going to allow BS in my life. I'm not going to allow people to disrespect me in my life. And you shouldn't allow any of that either. People who are around you, people who are in your circle, they should respect you and they should cherish you. And if they don't, get the heck out of that place. So the type of leader you are is going to be dependent on how much work you want to do. And if you are a follower and you want to be a leader, head over to revenconcepts.com. If you just want to just ask a question, coachinginsession@gmail.com. If you are new, just catching the tail end of the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And on Friday, we're going to be talking about education, the education system, with Mark Noblet. And it's a great interview. Number one, must watch. And you're going to probably want to watch it more than once because there's so much information in there, jam-packed from start to finish. And we didn't even touch the surface. That's the crazy part. We didn't even touch the surface. We have so much more to talk about. So Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, that is when I will see you again because that's going to be important. Until next time, everyone, take care.